I'm Phil Hatch, test taking expert and creator of testperfect.com. In this video, we're going to discuss what you should do if you just have 1 month to study for the test and you haven't done any prep yet. Now, that's not the ideal situation, of course. I would prefer that students have 3 or 4 months to study, but this is the situation you find yourself in. Well, how can you maximize this 1 month and get the best score possible? Okay, so what you have to do is you have to look at the different things you can do and judge what is the most important. And here's what I think is by far the most important thing to do, and that is take practice tests. So before you go in to take the real test, you should have at least 2 practice tests done, and hopefully more in the 4 to 6 range. Now, there are 2 free practice tests for you. Now, these are official content practice tests, and they're on the official website, the same place you signed up to take the test. So take advantage of those free tests. In addition, there's several more that you can purchase. So definitely do the 2 free ones, but if you can do any of the additional ones, I would prefer that you do at least 1 practice test a week getting ready for the test. So that's 3 or 4 practice tests within a month. Okay, so the reason I emphasize practice tests is you've got to get used to that. Yes, you have to learn the content, but you've got to get used to doing it in a timed situation. That clock is ticking on test day, and you need to be used to that. Plus, there's actually quite a bit of stamina required for the test. You're going to be in there for 3.5+ hours working on this test, so you need to be used to that and ready for it, because that can be a big shock to the system. In addition, when you're doing the practice tests, they're going to be on a computer, and so you get additional practice taking your notes on scratch paper rather than just, if you're just practicing in a book, you just obviously take your notes in a book. So it actually replicates that test day experience a lot better. Okay, so that's the number 1 thing I would say you need to do. Okay, the next thing is you need to learn the content as much as possible. Okay, so now there are a lot of ways to get here. So one thing is you want to get a hold of the official guides to study for the test. They're available on Amazon, on the official website for a premium. So there's an official guide. And then there's a couple of supplements, a math and a verbal supplement. These are fantastic. They are hundreds and hundreds of real, actual content from previous tests. This is the content that's as good as the real thing. The same with the practice tests. So there's a lot of other, there's a lot of companies publishing books that have, practice problems for the test, but they're just never quite as good as the real thing. Now, they may be better than I could write. I don't write a lot of questions, but they're just not as good as the real thing. So if you can have official content, that's the best thing. But you want to learn the content on the test, and unfortunately, the official guides, well, there are a lot of good practice problems. They're actually not designed so much to help you get better at the test. You want to learn some strategies. You want to learn some technique to go along with it. You need a very solid, math review and verbal review. So there are a lot of ways to get this. Can I suggest our course here at Test Perfect, of course. In fact, if you watch it at the end of the video, we're going to have a $100 gift, discount for you. So definitely take advantage of that. So that's a great way to do it. So you also, if you only have a month, want something that you can accelerate. Most courses are based around a couple of months, but if you need to get through it really quickly in 3 or 4 weeks, you want something that's on demand that you can get through and do it at your own pace. And our course does that. Now, that's an expensive option. Of course, there's tutoring, which is probably the most expensive option, but there's other options here too. And one thing you can do is you can get a book. You just look on Amazon. There are dozens of books designed to prep you for the test. So if you're going to do that, look for one of the names you trust and buy one of those books. You're probably in the $20 to $40 range for a really solid book that will teach strategy, that will talk about all the technique and stuff. Now, I personally think it's easier to do it in a class, in a video format, to kind of work on the technique. But if you really learn really well from a book, that's great also. But what you have to do is you're guys basically going to get yourself as familiar with the content as possible, learn a bunch of techniques, and do practice tests. That's the best thing you can do in this month leading up to the test. So if you've liked what you've seen today, please check out our other videos and also our course, and I wish you luck on your test.